Ken Brookes. We're down here in Ken Brookes SuperValu on North Main Street, Youghal. Happy Christmas.
And many happy returns, Michael. Thank you
Yeah,
very
a
much.
special
Thank you.
occasion here. Ken, we're running into Christmas week. You're going to be very busy this week.
Hopefully, hopefully indeed.
Ken, beside you here, there's something very famous. It's part of the Youghal DNA. Can you move in there closer, Ken, and tell the folks about it? We got Pasley's Old Man.
Yeah, well, basically, as you all know, Pasley's Old Man has been put out in the shop window of Pasley's in its old supermarket and shop on Main Street and Youghal, all for the last 100 odd years. And in recent years, when we moved up to our new location here in the old Ellen former premises, we brought him up here, and then Kay Curtin of Kay Flowers would very kindly used to put him out in the shop window every Christmas to carry on the tradition so people could see him. And he's an old toy that was bought around 1850, and I'd say his history is well known. And it's all about this gentleman who's a bit under the weather from a bit of drink, and he's knocking on the door to be let in, and ring the doorbell, and his good wife looks out, sees that he's drunk, shakes her head, and puts down the window again.
He ain't coming in.
He ain't coming in. And the reason that was, and there's a little message up at the top there, I never got a drop at Pasley's, because for many years, my father being a Methodist and a teetotaler, never sold alcohol, and it was only in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s that we started to sell alcohol. But we still kept him here because it's a whole sort of spirit. We've all so many happy memories of him. When, as children, we would see him there, and he'd moving, trotting around the place. And so we decided that we've just done a major revamp on our new shop, and we wanted this guy, and particularly it came from Peter, who's the next generation. He was very keen to make sure that Pasley's Old Man was in the centre and not locked away most of the year, and just seeing a bit of daylight for 2 or 3 weeks at Christmas. So he has pride the place here at the front of the shop, and actually everything that sort of Pasley stands for is appropriate today in a modern SuperValu. And we changed the family name to Brookes because we felt that more people would know our name as opposed to Pasley's about 20 odd years ago when we moved up here, and it has all worked out very well.
Ken, Pasley's Old Man, when it's tradition that you promote in the shop window of old, and a couple of years later then in modern times up in Kay's Flower Shop, he's back now here in his spiritual home, we call it, here in North Main Street, in your own shop, back where he belongs and such. Ken, when would he go? Was it always December the 8th?
Yeah, usually traditionally it was December the 8th was when everything started, and but nowadays that's our change. But it was always around the December 8th, and that we used to put them out.
That was known when the country folk would come into shopping into town, and kind of like the start to the Christmas shop.
That's right. Yeah. Now it's all about Black Friday and other things, so we don't. Right. But no, he's here for Black Friday, December the 8th, and he'll be now looking at us always. And very important that he's now back in his spiritual home.
Well done, Ken. Can I look behind you here?
Yeah,
this
certainly.
Wonderful. I'm going to call it like it's like a wall of fame here, but it tells the story of Pasley's going back to 1888.
Correct.
And you start over here. Shall we go down here, Ken? So then, and we might go fly through some of the photographs here. So this is where you all started, Ken.
Yes, indeed. And that is a photograph of my grandfather and my grandmother, and there's another photograph of them there, and that's my father as a baby there in our arms. That would have been around 1921, 22, I think, around that time. And so it all started when my grandfather arrived from Doris in West Cork in 1888 at 13 years of age to serve his time, and he eventually worked away, bought out Mr. Pasley, went to Dublin in 1907, and my father and Mr. Cathcart were both managers, bought out the shop, and then Mr. Cathcart passed away in 1921, and then my grandfather bought the premises, and it was in the family ever since.
And Ken, going up to, I suppose, my time, our time, in the 70s, of course, your father Jack, and your mum Carmel,
yes,
they had it all those years, but you came along the scene in the 1970s era, was it?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah. I started working here around 1972, and I've been here ever since.
But you were trained in the retail business.
Oh, I was.
Right.
Once I left school, my educational future was decided for me when my father asked the headmaster of the school I was going to, should he send me to college or send me to the shop? And he said, put him into the shop as quick as you can. So, never regretted it. I loved it. I was working with Musgraves for 2 or 3 years as training manager in Cork and in Kilkenny, and then I came back to join because Joe Maloney, who's another very well-known Youghal man, Joe had not retired. He had moved. He had opened the spinning wheel. I think it was down
The
below.
Ocean Lounge,
The Ocean
down
Lounge,
in
that's right,
Prior Street.
That's right.
the well-known Ocean
That's
Lounge.
right, yeah. So he took over the running of that. So I came in then at that stage to help.
The legendary Joe Maloney.
Absolute legend.
So Joe had moved, just about to move on when you came on the scene.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Great character, Joe. Ken, so it's people come in and they can read your story, our story here, about the Brookes from 1888, how it all happened, all along here. Ken, just come in here closer to this wall here, so we've old photographs here, black and white, going back to showing. This is North Main Street now, of course.
Yes, that's North Main Street in Youghal, 95 North Main Street to 97, and that's my grandfather John Brookes, and that's my father Jack,
right.
Taken in 1927, and my father would have been 5 at that stage. And as I say, you can see all the old sides of bacon and everything hanging outside the front door. No refrigeration in those days, and it was amazing.
And down here, the whole story of the Pasleys and the Brookes.
That's correct. Indeed. That's correct.
And images of the old style.
Across from the Devonshire Arms. That's just beside where Paddy Ford's.
Okay. And who's in the cart here?
I'm feeling that's John Cathcart. There because he lived down there.
Okay. And the glamorous lady here.
That's my father's sister, Iris, and she moved to Northern Ireland. She married a dentist, and she moved to.
And look at the glamorous attire they're wearing there back in those days. Look at the little flamboyant house.
That's right.
That's the way it was. And all down here. So we'll move up here, Ken, here, and we have now people will be more known up here, and these are more like 1970s, 80s here now.
No, this was actually in the 60s, and it would have been around 1963, 64.
Right.
And there's a well-known van driver there for us for many years, Paddy Power.
Okay.
And that's Paddy there.
Right.
And a few more regulars down below in Pasley's at a tasting.
And it looks to me like tea bags were a new thing. I was seeing up there. Were tea bags kind of new on the scene in the 1960s?
Oh, they would have been.
Right. Yeah,
I remember the first time I got a tea bag. I didn't know how to use it, so I tore it open and poured the tea in because I thought that I was used to lose tea.
I'm still kind of getting used to them as well. I still haven't changed over from the old imperial to the metric. And down here we have a whole array of people here connected with here.
That's right. That's right.
Family, friends, and staff.
There's an old prize that have been given out there.
And fantastic.
Yeah. That's the back of Pasley's there then.
Oh, the old back of it down here, of course. Yeah. Oh, right.
TP Walsh's.
Oh, right.
And that's Harbour House.
Okay, and the famous clock gate, of course, in the centre there. The old facade, the shop front there, and more people down here. I can't bend down.
Actually, the bottom fella on the left is Larry Gogan.
Oh, right, yeah.
He was down on a promotion there for, I think it was Firelighters.
Firelighters. Yourself here, Ken?
I won a car at a SuperValu competition there one time, and that was my mum and dad there. And
you actually won the car?
I did, yeah.
Oh, right.
It was one that was given out by SuperValu. It was a draw.
Right. And what type of car is it? It's a Toyota, of course. Okay, they always get the Toyota geographies. Look, the old style.
This was actually
the prices here, in LSD.
That's right, and that was in 1963.
Wow, look at the prices there.
Because one of the great prizes there, if we were doing anything special, was tickets then for the Regal Cinema or for Horgan's.
Oh, you know what I mean? And you had advertisements as well. You had advertisements as well in the Regal Cinema.
Absolutely.
We had one actually on the show there recently.
Yeah, it's a fabulous
we're connected with UCC with a screening down there. And you were great to support that, Ken. And the supermarket, Brookes Supermarket, Pasley's are great community supporters. We are great sponsors. You're very good out to the old CY Mess when they're selling
listen,
the tickets?
We're like a big family here
Yeah,
in Youghal,
yeah,
and we all look out for each other. And as I say, it's a community that we're only too happy to be involved with. And as I say, and thank God the community have been such great supporters of us for so many years.
Yeah.
We'd never have done it without them.
Would you say that particularly about your supermarket? It's almost like one big family compared to the others.
Well,
supermarkets?
nowadays, like we're probably one of the smaller supermarkets in the town. There's big multinationals and German discounters and Tesco and stuff like that. But having said that, we've got our own business here. It's run by SuperValu, who are Irish owned. We own our own business here. It's a family business. I always say to any new staff coming in here that I never pay your wages. It's the customer pays your wages, and never forget that.
Ken, when you were the big supermarket in town back in the other end of North Main Street, back in those days, there was a lot of smaller shops either side across the road, and of course we can't say that era without mentioning Merrick's.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I want to say is, were you had a cosy relationship with the smaller shops? They were great to see the whole activity, the whole street.
I know we were indeed, and I mean, like we were very friendly with all our neighbours and shopkeepers in around sort of the Clockgate area upwards and that, and below as well.
Can you remember some of the shops down there?
Well, I can't. Well, I remember first of all we had Miss Barrett next to us, and then we had Condon's fish shop then next to us on the other side. I remember then Albert Muckley.
Of course, Muckley's,
TP
watchmakers,
Walsh's, which was the hardware shop and stuff. Then you had famous Cecil Pratt and Pratt's shop, and that was fantastic. And then you went down. There was Bree, Power. She was on the corner.
Power, yeah.
Then you went down and you had
great vegetable shop.
Get your haircut then by Maison Fox.
All right.
And he would look after you there. And he was a great character.
The nickname was the man with the educated fingers.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, between Cecil Pratt and himself, you're talking unreal characters. Then we moved down. There was Troy's. They used to sell motorbikes and stuff like that. Then you had Freddie Barrett's. And there was, I could go on and on.
And Fergus McLean, I remember. Was
that's right.
Of course, and for a bit further up, you had Billy Field. All these amazing characters. Every one of them. That was the big community. That was at the time.
They were great days. I think what really happened, y'all, was unfortunately it was parking. At the end of the day, there was too many cars and there wasn't enough people could get to the shops. Youghal is a long town, river on one side and a hill on the other side.
And where I live, Ken, back at that time, you'd rarely see a car going up there.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
There was so the car created its own problem.
Once the big supermarkets then opened on the edge of town, then we had to move from our main street still on the same street, but up to the side.
Go back to Mason Fox and the barber shops. They were great talking shops, weren't they? When people went there, as was your shop, and still is. It was kind of like you'd get the news in there, wouldn't you? The local news. In there,
it was a very personal sort of business, the whole thing, and there were some tremendous characters there. I just think of Cal McCarthy and stuff like that. People like that. There was Joe Buckley and stuff like that.
The Wimpy Bar.
Yeah,
the Wimpy Bar. Yeah.
They were all. There was Mr. Chappell, Bobby Chappell, the electrical place then alongside. So it was amazing. You had Doyle's Hardware. You had so many people there. So many people.
And of course there was a lot of pubs as well. Around the bit. Katie Daly's was a famous one. So many stories came out of all the different areas. But great characters, great community, and great for chats.
Yes.
Ken, I was listening to CRY there recently. Jimmy Flanagan has his own show, and there he mentioned about that people don't salute each other as much when you're out walking or on the lighthouse sale. He finds that very disappointing. Is that true, do you think?
Well, I find as an elder lemon now at this stage that when I'm walking along you'd see an awful lot of younger people right up to the age of the 30, and it's understandable, but they're looking at their phone and yet they still seem to know you're there, but they don't see you at the same time, and that's fine. I mean, that's the way life has changed, but certainly there wouldn't be things are not as sort of friendly. People wouldn't know their neighbours as well as years gone by,
That's part of the modern Ireland.
It is.
Okay. Can we still go back to the old Ireland here? So then here, look at this photograph of your Jack and Carmel up here,
and our dog
and the dog here. Now this is a great one here, Ken. This is the North Main Street, just coming from underneath the Clockgate, and it looks to me like the Brass and Reed band.
It's the Brass and Reed band. It is indeed.
And look at the crowds there.
Oh, it was huge.
Crikey.
Absolutely huge.
Of course, I remember as well when you did SuperValu, but you had the VG plastic bags.
That's right.
That was your shopping, and the women in the town would fill up the two or your grocery bags and they tie them onto the side of the pram and walk up a Corkhill. Wyman Hill,
That's right.
you know, that everyone now was saying, how do they get up that hill
I
for
know,
Ironman?
yeah.
You had these iron women in Youghal and they were going up both those massive hills
Absolutely.
with a pram full of babies and full of VG bags full from your grocery shop.
No, it's so true, Mike.
Yeah, it is
So
true, isn't it? Yeah.
it is. I remember when my son David, when he was only about 5, 6 weeks old, I pushed him up a pram up Wyman Hill, and I nearly had cardiac arrest by the time I got to the top of it. I never forget it. I did it once, never again.
Now the things called taxis and stuff.
Exactly.
Listen, Ken, go back here again. Here, down here, the old shelves here. Okay, this is your marriage. Your marriage.
My good-looking
Helen,
and a dodgy-looking character with a moustache.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. But look, everyone, look at that the lovely wedding dress there. Let's get that in here. Well done. And who have we got here? Down here now we have
Paddy Power, who was our van driver for many years.
Okay, right.
And, that's Paddy inside the van at the back of Pasley's.
Now you different van drivers over the years, haven't you?
We did indeed.
Yeah, was that a new thing at the time? Have a fleet on the road kind of thing?
It wasn't really, because going right back to about sort of the early 1900s. We had one or two vans, and we used to, again, Joe Maloney used to be out on that, and we would deliver.
Joe done the road and runs as well, right?
We used to deliver groceries to all up along the river.
And Joe, a Waterford man as well, up the north, so he knew all the areas to go to,
Quinn, Lismore, all the way down Tallow and stuff like that. So that was like online deliveries at a very early age.
But have you got online deliveries now?
No, we have indeed. We have indeed.
Right,
yeah.
so can people go online, order what they want, and you deliver it to your door? Yeah, I see.
But we still do then home deliveries all around the town.
Right. But it's just a progression because you were doing those deliveries. Go back.
My father at the time, my grandfather, they had two vans, two ancient old vans, and they had a sign up in the back of it, Pasley's grocers and wholesalers and stuff like that. Vans everywhere.
Oh, everywhere. Okay. It's like the local worldwide cabs.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're talking.
Okay. And down here we have, of course, we mentioned one band. We can't mention the other without the Corkhill pipe band. Now the Youghal pipe band and the legendary and it's the likes of them and the Bresson Reed band during Christmas. They made it, didn't they?
Of course
you know, like remember the Bresson Reed doing the carols around town. They did them up my way.
They were down by Merrick's as well.
All over town they would have gone. You know what I mean? Added to the festive Christmas season. Ken, the town as we know or used to know it here.
That's right.
Clark Carverin, of course. Freddie Barrett's here. Goggins lived in here, I think, today. And of course, we mentioned the Mason Fox. It was here.
Right.
And across the road here, Billy Burke's shop, the toy shop, of course. Yeah,
that's right.
All along here. And was Cal Favin's newspaper shop along here as well?
Yeah, this was Cal. No, Cal McCarthy was
Cal McCarthy. Cal McCarthy.
Who's there? Yeah.
And of course, what we didn't mention much. We just mentioned it earlier. In I think 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock, Merrick's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Merrick's department store.
Huge.
Gordon Good.
Yeah, Gordon
Okay,
Good.
a brief word, a couple of words about Gordon.
Certainly. Gordon was a very nice man. He was my father's best man at his wedding, and the two of them used to meet every day and go into the coffee pot in latter years, and they'd have their coffee in there, and they used to always call each other Mr. Brookes and Mr. Good, and that's what
they'd address each other as
Mr. Brookes. Well, now Mr. Brookes, and now Mr. Good, and this sort of thing. They were great friends.
I happened to call into another place just up here. Mary's.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
American here it is up here. I think
that's right.
It had a kind of a yellow facade. Mary's clothes shop, and they were a great family. And her father was Dr. Kennedy.
Yeah.
And they named in honour of him Dr. Kennedy's place outside in the north end of town.
Yeah, and there was a member of their family was John, and he was a brilliant chess player, if I remember right.
He was. I'd met many a battle of him, but what I would refer to when you said that Mr. Good was referring to your dad as Mr. Brookes and vice versa. I happened to call in to Mary to pass a message on to her brother John one time, and this is in the latter years, and John was a little bit more infirm going up and down the stairs, and she had those kind of beads that were go right on the door, from the front of the shop to the back, and she went through it. I said, "Is John around?" she went through the beads and she shouted up the stairs, Brother John, Michael is here to see you. It was very kind of Victorian.
Oh, absolutely,
Oh, yes.
absolutely. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So here we go. Ken, vegetables here, bananas and all sorts of.
Everything would have been loose, delivered loose. There was very little things pre-packed.
Can I refer to them, because I did a little bit of a story there recently on Christmas and Youghal in the old days, and a lot of the elderly people said about getting an orange, or it was like an exotic. They couldn't explain. It was trying to find it hard to explain how exotic an orange was back when they were growing up. It was just after the war. Would you explain about that?
I can, in as much that I remember when we were kids and we were living over the shop in 95 North Main Street. We used to get really excited because we get these wooden caskets coming in with kind of sort of like sawdust inside them, and it was grapes. And grapes.
Oh, grapes.
And we'd never see grapes all year round. And again, when Santa used to come, he used to bring an orange and some fruit, because we never got them. We used to never get them at all during the year. Likewise, a fizzy drink or something like that. That was a big treat if you could get one of them on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? Because again, everything was so limited.
And that was the default Christmas present, was an orange, a pear in the Christmas stocking, and a bar of chocolate if you were lucky. That was the kind of way really for the default thing. Ken, can we go back down here again?
Again, that's a fellow called Harry Tullier, and he used to be a radio presenter on RTE, and that was the boss man in Musgraves at the time. There was some presentation being made, and that's what they were. That's Joe Connor.
Oh, Joe here,
Joe was manager for many years. Very good friends.
And Jack, your dad beside them there as well.
That's myself. Seamus Scally, managing director, and that's what I call Sean Fish, and he was the area manager.
And bringing loads more for the old style SuperValu down there. Up here. Hello, how you doing? So all up here, Ken, it's a fantastic array. All the modern stuff now that you have here, and the old style VG News here. There's some parade going on. These look like Boy Scouts here or something. But you would have supported the Boy Scouts as well, wouldn't you?
Well, look, as a fellow said, if two flags went up the wall, we'd support them.
Well done. Actually, before I came out here, I'm just going on community radio Youghal. I just heard your advert on the radio. So you support the local radio as well.
All the time. Well, I mean, they contribute so much to the town. And particularly for people who might be a bit in remote areas like that, it's a wonderful service. And people like Noel Cronin, there's a couple of guys down there, and they're legends. Legends.
Actually, I'm glad you said that, because they broadcast a lot of stuff, but behind the scenes, the work that goes on there, Noel, plus all the rest of the staff down there. But we're talking about the community, they really do. Well, we'd be lost without them, wouldn't we? You know what I mean? They really deserve every credit. Ken, go up here. Now, this is going to attract a lot of attention.
That's right.
Now, this one here, I'm afraid you're going to have to mention a couple of names there, but they look like staff.
That's right. That's Elaine Quirk. I'm not sure what her married name is. That's Noreen Smith, I think. That's Frankie Hamill. That's Francis O'Mahony. That's Mary O'Brien. That's Marie. Can't remember her second name now. And that's Angela Power, I think it is. That's Catherine Keneally. These are all the maiden names. That's Siobhan Cooney. That's Mary.
Okay,
and this, of course, is another.
Oh, Liz. You can
get
with Liz,
And that's Mulcahy. That's right. That's her.
I'll just go into there. So we got everyone in there, and wow, they were all great staff, and every one of them, every one of them. And of course, did you have Christmas parties then as well?
We did. We did indeed. And Liz Sweeney took a year off my life one time, because sometimes she was the best in the world, but sometimes she could be a little bit late in the mornings. And I was driving up one morning, and I saw her just up there by Lavin Solicitors, by the post office, or just by the clock 8. And I lowered the window, and it was about 9:20, and I just said, "Liz, you're late." And what I didn't realise, the lorry in front of me suddenly stopped because he couldn't get under the clock 8, and then he went into the back of the lorry, and all I remember was I got a fright, and she was bursting her sides laughing.
Liz, and great singer.
She is. Listen, she's a great.
Down here, more down here.
Down here, there's an interesting sort of situation here. This is myself and my mum, and this would have been taken about 25 years ago.
Oh, so
And
that's you on the left there, right?
Yeah, that's
okay,
me.
yeah.
And that is actually Mr. Pasley's descendants who are living in Dublin, and that's his good wife, and that's my mother. We met them, and we had a long chat with them, and they gave us some letters and things like that as well.
So this is the Pasley's descendant,
Yeah,
this
that's
right
right
here,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, that's right. So that's us. He's Mr. Pasley. Mr.
Amazing,
Pasley.
absolutely amazing. Incredible wall here.
And a lovely one down here. The phone number was Youghal 10 for Pasley's. That was in '63.
Youghal 10. Amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of technology has changed since then. Ken, we're coming near the end here now.
Yeah.
Just take a zoom back of the whole lot here again. It's fantastic. Do people come in here, Ken, and just admire the wall?
They
Look
do,
at it?
yeah. They do, yeah. And I was talking to a girl when we closed Pasley's. She was working for Tesco's the last 20 years, and there's a photograph of her and another friend of ours was working out there, and they were in the staff of Pasley's, and they're on the photographs as well. You know what I mean?
I'd say you must have had a big time here looking at this wall in picking out what goes under.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
I said it was
100%.
There was a lot of hours went into who's going in and who's going out.
And just to show you, that's the new generation now. This is Peter, and this is his wife Jackie.
Okay. And look at the glamour again there, the style there, yeah.
There's indeed.
Yeah.
And he's looking a lot healthier than I did on my marriage day. That's Peter now, who's taken over. That's his 3 children and his dog. That's Jack, Abigail, and that's Annabelle, and that's Bella, the dog.
That's the new generation.
That's the new generation.
Okay.
And that's a photograph taken about a week or two ago of me and Helen and
Very, very professional.
Indeed.
We'll just come up out here, so Ken, and we'll take a walk. Come back up here again, Ken, to Pasley's old man there. So this is your wall of here going back to 1888, and we're back here again at the old man.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Come in there a bit closer there, Ken. I've just this mobile phone right in your face. Ken Pasley's old man. There was a famous film, Ben Stiller, Night at the Museum. He was a museum caretaker or something, and when he was in charge of going around us, some of the things he used to come alive or something like that.
Yeah.
Was there a rumour that when you opened up the box that you found him over in the drinks department, the old man here?
No, but I will tell you, about 3 years ago, I used to keep in a big wooden box inside in my office, and I put him inside, and that was fine. I was working late one night, locking up. I was here in the shop on my own, and the next minute there was a sound from the thing, and I swear to God, your man moved, and he just moved he just moved a little bit.
The mechanism.
Something like that. The hair stood up in the back of my head. What's left of it? I tell you something. I got some shock.
Okay.
But yeah, certainly, like, I'll be throwing the odd eyeball at this fellow when I'm locking up at night time.
Okay, Ken, listen, we were only supposed to do a kind of a 3-minute clip. I think we're gone to about 30 minutes.
Sorry,
Ken,
Michael.
would you like to say something to the people, your customers, and your family and friends at home and abroad?
Listen
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, to all my staff and everybody in the shop, to people like Stephen and Peter, and I'm just so grateful to you all for all your help and contribution in getting our lovely new store up and running there this year. And to the people of Youghal, we wouldn't be here without you. And we're so grateful for your support and friendship. We're, looking forward to the future. I'll be stepping back a little bit, but I'll still be here chatting to people, probably annoying them. But I am just so grateful for everybody's friendship and the support. It's been wonderful, and we look forward to many years to come, please God.